Um, so this is the Bring to Light Lurrus deck that I put together a different version on Wednesday. I played that off stream for one. We had like an okay showing with it on Wednesday, but it did feel like potentially that the Drowned Thoughtscour package needed to be cut, right? Where we were losing like a lot of games to Graveyard Hate, turning off our Drowns, and Drowned wasn't always on turn 2. So I put this deck together last night. Same 75 I played last night. I 5-0'd off stream. I was actually 10-1 in games, and I played against like a really competitive, set of decks. I played against Red White Prowess, into 2 Titan decks, into Heliod, into Jund Shadow, so like a really good sampling of the metagame. 13 months in chest, hell yeah. Hell yeah, Baker's dozen. And the list felt really good. One thing I think you could maybe do is you could maybe cut the 4th island for either Overgrown Tomb or River of Tears or the second blue-black filter land. But the mana base felt pretty good last night. These are the only 4 lands in the deck that don't cast Abrupt Decay. And Abrupt Decay kind of feels like Wrenn and 6 in some teamer decks where you have Wrenn and 6 in a deck with a lot of islands. But Wrenn is not usually that difficult to cast. Especially because a lot of games you're trying to go Triome into, like you can go Triome into Reflecting Pool and your mana is just perfect. But we're going to jump into it. I'm also trying out Shatter Assumptions in the sideboard. I think this card might just be sick right now. There's a lot of Tron, and there's also a lot of like the Bring to Light decks, the Niv Mizzet decks. This card also just kind of hoses. Or at least I'm thinking that it hoses them. I could be wrong, but just like, it at least feels worth bringing in against the 4-color version. It's great against Niv Mizzet, of course. The art is also really good. Why isn't this deck called Bring to Lurrus? We talked about this last time, but I think Bring to Light Lurrus is clearer. Bring to Lurrus is, I think, just less clear for people who don't know what's going on in the deck. And deck naming has got to be clear, in my opinion. It's clear over clever. Yeah, I really hope to cast Shatter Assumptions. That's like definitely a card I'm not sold on. I was playing Unmoored Ego in that spot last time, but Ego didn't seem that good to me. Let's keep this. Can we get the, if we don't need to push on turn 1, we can get the Temur Triome, because then we can filter into double black off Sunken Ruins. How many cards does Shatter Assumptions need to discard to be good? 3? 3 is like above rate, Discarding 3 cards for 3 mana is really good. Alright, we'll just push this. Could get a basic swamp here because we have the Sunken Ruins. Yeah, I saw someone 5-0 with the brought back deck. Or did somebody else 5-0 with it? Opponent triple queuing? Wow. The win condition is bringing to light for Valki and casting Tibalt. So you have basically 3 copies of your 7 mana Planeswalker that costs 5 mana, or you can just cast it for 7 mana because you have a Temur Triome. And you can also win with Lurrus and Snapcaster, yeah. Sometimes you even steal a creature with Archmage's Charm and win that way. Yeah, MTG Bot did tell us that our opponent is triple queuing, so we might have a little bit of time. Seems dubious. What seems dubious? My opponent triple queuing? Could talk about the deck a little bit. So, we cut the Thoughtscour Drowned package for 2 Decays, 3 Leaks, 2 Ops, and a Force of Negation. I think the Ops are really important to have a density of spells for Snapcaster Mage. I think if you don't play the 1 mana Ops, your Snapcasters get a lot worse. And then I've also been liking Force of Negation more in the metagame. It's really good against the Bring to Light decks. There's a decent amount of Tron. There's a lot of Blood Moons running around too, which Decay also helps against. Man, I really hope this isn't like the other day when... Man, Wednesday I was so pumped for this deck. Coming off a great league. Get paired against like a brutal Ponza match and the 2 mono blue Trons. And now, super pumped for today. Opponent's triple queuing. Guess we could just chat for a bit. In my opinion, how much better are the Yargle ops? Yargle ops are a lot better than regular ops because when you're casting it, you get to go Yargle. Yargle, give me a good card. And then if it doesn't give you a good card, you can go Yargle. You can blame Yargle for all your bad draws. Am I going for the fro? No. My hair doesn't fro. It just kind of, if it gets any longer than this, it's going to flop down. How many sources of red? Just one, but you also have reflecting pools. So that way, if you have reflecting pool in play and you need red, you can fetch the Triome sometimes and get red immediately. But the red splash is super light. So the red lets you bring to light for 4, which is really only relevant for Damnation, although I guess you could bring to light for Cryptic sometimes. And then in the sideboard you have 1 Crumble to Dust to bring to light 4 or just cast. And then the red also lets you cast the backside of Tibalt, which does come up, but not that often. Flag Spike could pull off a Mohawk. I've always kind of wanted to do a Mohawk, but I don't think Esther would be into it. So is Bring to Light in this deck just for Valki or sometimes Damnation? Yeah, that's the idea. Is that Bring to Light is going to get you almost always Valki, and then Damnation when you're behind, and then you can sometimes pitch extra copies to Force. Sometimes you can, in the very late game, Bring to Light for Snapcaster or Charm if you're out of Valkis, but Valki is the best thing to Bring to Light for in Modern, I think. You could maybe make an argument for Niv Mizzet. Scapeshift obviously is better when you have 7 or 8 lands in play, but on turn 5, especially in a deck like this, Valki is the card that you want to get. And it's really good to get, like, being able to Bring to Light for Valki is one of the best things to do in Modern, and playing Lurrus Bauble is also one of the best things to do. And this deck gets to do that while also playing the best control, like, you know, its choice of of control suite, you know? Like, Push is the best removal spell right now, and then you get to choose between Drowns or Mana Leaks and Decays. I think this deck is amazing. I'm probably going to play it in the PTQ on Monday. I really, really believe in it. We could Mana Leak this. Problem is if they have Teferi next turn, we get got. And we just don't have another counterspell. But we have a counterspell on turn 4 because of the Snapcaster. They finally took in their second turn, although not completely. We are 2 turns into this game. My opponent has used 20% of their clock, a full 5 minutes. Good morning. What a great day to be alive. Yeah, I'm in high spirits today as well. Getting my second COVID shot this afternoon. Yeah, they have to speed up at some point, and I'm content to just chat with you guys for the time being, I suppose. Is there like a prelim or something going on? They did it. They played their 3rd lands. They haven't passed the turn yet. Oh yeah, Arcane. The opponent's just planning. They're just thinking really hard. Thank you, Modrin. Welcome from Brazil. Thank you for your follow. Well, I thought my opponent would... They played the land. They haven't passed the turn yet. We're still on their 2nd turn. It's now been over 6 minutes. Let's see if we can get to 7 minutes. Oh my gosh. Maybe they're hoping for clock concede equity. Yeah, well, it may backfire on them. Just got to hear what changes did you make. I'm happy to be able to talk about literally anything while my opponent's taking so long. So we cut the Thought Scour Drowned package because Drowned wasn't like always on turn 2, which kind of felt relevant in this kind of fast metagame. Although, I mean, Drowned is always good against Prowess. But against like the Ponza deck, not being able to drown Blood Moon was kind of tough. So we cut that for 3 Mana Leaks, 2 Decays, 2 Ops. You have a density of cantrips and just cheap spells for Snapcaster, and then the 3rd Force of Negation. All right, they are passing the turn. Not quite to the 7-minute mark. And then I also cut the Mordigo for a Shatter Assumptions in the sideboard, which I think is good against our opponent's deck, and then of Tron, of course. I may leak that. Wish I could Decay it instead, but what are you going to do? Decay is also really good against their deck. You can't cast Tibalt from the graveyard with Lurrus. You can't cast the Valki side though, which is not nothing. Bring for Valki or other. Oh, sorry. You're usually gonna be bringing to light for Valki, for Tibalt, but really. I guess if I don't snap Mana Leak this, I can't snap Mana Leak anything next turn because I have to spin my Decay. So let's just go snap Mana Leak here. It's also like lets us top deck bring to light, just slam it. I have not cast Shatter Assumptions yet. I've played one league with it. I did 5-0 last night, going even 10-1 in games. But I also I didn't cast Shatter Assumptions. I played against blue-white prowess, red-white prowess. 2 Titan decks, Heliod, and Jund's Shadow. How's the matchup versus Tron? I think Tron's probably the worst matchup of all the meta decks, but I also think it's like pretty fine. You know, they're favored, but it's not an unwinnable matchup. Drawing a couple of land stinks. But I think this deck is good against Heliod. I think this deck is good against Titan. I think this deck is good against Prowess. Although Blue-Red Prowess got worse once you cut the Drowns. I think the matchup's still okay. Very good against Red-White Prowess. Very good against Jund's Shadow. Probably an evenish matchup here where your like huge density of counterspells is great in this matchup. The Shatter Assumptions is also probably quite good. It's really good for us that they drew their Valki. Like I have found that their deck is very threat light, so decks that are just all answers like our deck tend to do well against them, but game 2 they do bring in like 3 Veil of Summer, so maybe it's not as good as I think it is. What are you thinking on Ice Fang in the deck? Ice Fang makes the mana really tough, where it's not just that you need blue-green on turn 2. And then I will say that if you needing blue-green on 2, I guess it's not that different from black-green as well, but it makes the mana a lot worse. It makes the mana a lot worse to play Ice Fang, not only because of the mana requirements, but also because you're wanting to fetch more basics, and it's just not going to be death touching. Oh, good draw. It's just not going to have death touch in a reasonable time span. So I'm going to target myself. If I see Cryptic Command on top, I'm not going to cast the Lurrus. I saw a Misty Rainforest instead. So I will cast the Lurrus. And then hopefully we don't just die to Scape Shift. They have Explore on top. I believe that, yeah, they need 7 lands to kill me with Scape Shift, right? So they can't have... I guess they can Explore into a land and have Scape Shift or Bring to Light. We did draw 2 more lands, which stinks, but I mean the Bauble was a good draw. 2 Explorers, hacks, and Reclaimer as the last card. Cool. Ideally, we can keep that as a counter spell. See what my top card is. Mishra's Bauble. Shuffle that, I think. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to steal the Reclaimer. They don't have a Dryad in play. They don't have enough mountains for Valakut to really do that much. Yeah, 6 with Dryad, 7 without Dryad. Another land. So like Ice Fang over Abrupt Decay, and we can't do both without having bad mana. No, I'm not playing Ice Fang in this deck. I'm playing Decay instead. Playing either one makes the mana worse, but Ice Fang is harder on the mana than Abrupt Decay, not necessarily because it costs blue-green, but because it makes you fetch so many basics, while also costing blue-green. But Abrupt Decay doesn't make you fetch basics, and Abrupt Decay lets you play more cards like 2 Reflecting Pools, you know? And also, Ice Fang is not particularly well positioned in this metagame anyways. There's a lot of Lava Darts, you know? Terrific 2 months, I appreciate you. Welcome back. Yeah, I know 7 without Dryad does 18, but it's so rare that you're not. I mean, I guess Lurrus is going to make it we're above 18. But I find that doesn't come up that often, especially because just dealing 18 anyways is pretty good. Because if I don't have a clock, they'll just be able to eventually draw a mountain to do the last 3 damage. They drew Bring to Light. Oh, they drew Scape Shift. Well, I'm glad I held the counterspell here. Could definitely, you know, do another land. We get to, you know, we get to get some selection here. There's a Mishra's Bauble on top, which I'll shuffle. Put my opponent down to 2. My opponent's also top decking. What do we draw? Opt. Okay, Yargle. And if Horizon sets, am I generally more excited for old cards being printed or brand new cards? Brand new cards, definitely. Oh my gosh. They probably don't have another Scape Shift. Oh, good point. It's a really good point. So they might be getting Dryad here, so maybe I could push the Reclaimer. Yeah, I forgot they just play 1. Yeah, they could be getting Omnath instead. But either way, I want to like let them cast the card before I push the Reclaimer. So like that way, because if I push Reclaimer, they'll just get Verdict right now. But if I make them choose Omnath or Dryad, I'll push the Reclaimer in response. Now the Reclaimer can't trigger landfall for the Omnath or the Dryad. You know, whichever theoretical one it would be. Why not waiting for the card they choose? I did wait for the card they chose. You mean on the opt? Guess that makes more sense. No, it doesn't make more sense because I could find Force of Negation off of opt. Yeah. Yeah, no, this was better. I love the Grixis version. You felt this is more viable for the current meta. I think that this deck is maybe the final evolution of Grixis, of Lurrus control decks, I should say. They didn't get a mountain? Yeah, I feel like this deck is maybe just the final evolution. You know, it's really powerful. So they need to have drawn a land or a bolt here. They didn't draw a land. They would cast bolt immediately to kill Lurrus. Or path. So we should win. Removal spell wins. Okay, cool. I know I already have Revolt, but I'm just a bit paranoid, I guess. Close game. This deck has felt the best of all of the Lurrus control decks between Sultai and Grixis that I've been working on. It feels more powerful. It feels more powerful, and you have like all the flexibility of like what like suite of spells to play. Really, you can be very flexible on these. I mean, I don't think the Grixis list is bad, but I just think that this is the best of all the. Shatter Assumptions might not even be that good against them. I think it's worth bringing in. And, you know, it hits a lot of their really relevant spells, but I think it misses a lot too. I at least want to try it, I think. Let's see. Decay hits Teferi, misses Omnath. Push hits Omnath, misses Teferi. You can probably cut the third Bring to Light. Cut the Cling to Dust. Instrument Opt, maybe. Maybe we just don't even bring in the Shatter Assumptions. It's a job, 13 months, appreciate you. Yeah, Crumble I don't think is that good against them. Yeah, maybe this just isn't a Shatter matchup, actually. I mean, it's obviously more for Tron and Niv. Yeah, I mean, Assumptions hits Bring to Light, Omnath, Teferi. I guess that's it, right? No hits Red and 6, but not super effectively. Yeah, I actually don't think this is sadly a Shatter matchup. Could maybe cut the fourth push. Although the more I play this matchup, the more I actually think push is great. I really regret when I played against Nassif last week, trimming on pushes. It was like the second time I'd played the matchup, and I didn't think I understood it super well. Maybe we'll play the third Decay over the fourth push. Decay just killing Killing Teferi, I think, is a really big game. And Verdant 6. No, I'm main decking 3 Bring to Lights, but I'm trimming one in this matchup there. It's a Fairy deck, and it can be kind of hard to tap out for it. Also, like, Valki is actually kind of a good card just to cast in this matchup, too. Oh, I submitted 61. Oops. What did I meant to cut? What did I mean to cut? I thought I cut it down to 60. Whatever. Push probably better than Damnation. Yeah. Yeah, I think I can buy that. No Crumble to remove Valakut, opponent no to hold. Well, the problem is if they just don't have a Valakut in play, which is like a decent amount of time, Crumble doesn't do anything. And I just think that that's going to happen too often for me to want to play Crumble. Sirius 14, thank you for your resubscription. Appreciate you. Let me take the Teferi here. Glad that you like the Toski deck. Definitely one of my favorites. Yeah, Crumble also very bad against Reclaimer. So they drew a Bolt, or so they drew a Mountain. They have Bolt up. They drew a second Dryad. Kind of an awkward hand to see. I might just get attacked down. I'm gonna take the second Dryad. What's Shatter against? Shatter is against Tron and Niv Mizzet. There's, I think, a decent amount of both of those decks in the metagame. It's kind of just a card I want to try out more so than anything. I'm not convinced that it's great, but it seems worth trying. Certainly, like, of all the cards in the deck, it feels like the most flex spot. So we draw a removal spell for Dryad. We're in good shape, especially Fatal Push, just to have Push plus Charm. The Bring to Light might be good. Can maybe just go bounce Dryad end of turn now, then Bring to Light for Tibalt. Hopefully we don't draw the second one. Will I run this in the upcoming PTQ? If the PTQ was today, I would say yes. I really, really believe in this deck, but a little too early to tell, I think. But if the PTQ was today, I would be playing it, and I'd be like pretty happy to as well. But things can change. One thing is I'm pretty disappointed that so we did my COVID second shot today, and I would really like to play this in tomorrow's PTQ, but there's just a good chance I'll be out of commission for a day. A lot of people are out of commission for a day when they get the shot, so I'm hoping that's not the case. I can play this in the challenge. But, you know, obviously health takes priority. No, Bring to Light can only hit creatures, instants, and sorceries. Moderna gang. My dad, thankfully, my dad's like 68. He didn't have any side effects, thankfully. Yeah, Tibalt is the best 5-mana planeswalker in Modern. I know it costs 7, but you know, in this deck it costs 5, and it's better than Teferi Hero. It's better than Jace. It's just so good. And it doesn't interfere with Lurrus Companion. Pretty good turn. Who needs it? 12 months, 1 year. Was supposed to resub last week. Was started work again completely. Well, I'm glad that you're here. Welcome back. Appreciate you. But it should probably just concede to this. You'll hit a Valakut. Not that lucky. Infinity for fun, 13 months. Greater than £. Back to you. Planning on playing a Scroll Wave I do not own Artgrass for Sideboard. Good question. I mean, that card is for like the Ponza, Swift Spear, Shadow, Etron matchups, and the fact that it comes in so many matchups, it's kind of hard to like fill the role, to fill the spot there.
What's up? It's
so
me,
maybe
your
just
friend,
like try to
Aspiring
figure
Spike.
out what your FNM metagame looks like, and just metagame for it. Just shoveling coal for Klothys, got a hype train going. Hell yeah. Yeah, Reflecting Pool does make blue-black off of Sunken Ruins, so we'll get to keep this hand. Need more Esper Inverter Herder? Well, sadly, I think the Soul Cat is the evolution of that deck. I think the Soul Cat deck is the better of the two. Unless something changes, I suppose. I usually force this. I may be supposed to pitch Spring to Light, but it was close. So I played a league with this deck last night. I did beat Titan twice in a row. Won all 4 games. I feel good about the matchup. Obviously, Titan's a powerful deck. You can still lose. Let's keep up Fatal Push here for a Dryad. Scott gifting a sub. Good morning, buddy. Well, if they have Cavern, we're kind of screwed. We can Mana Leak a Titan next turn. I also maybe chose wrong on my Mana Leak versus Logic Knot decision. It's a great draw. I want to make Approaching the Second Sun playable Modern. Do I think it's doable? I don't know. The thing about brewing in Modern is that, in my opinion, or at least my approach to it, it's not about making your favorite cards work. It's not about making your pet cards work. It's about figuring out something that's good that nobody else is doing. Like, this deck gets to play Lurrus and Bring to Light for Tibalt, and that's really, really good. At least that's my approach. There is a difference between, of course, brewing for fun and brewing to make you can definitely make, decks that maximize your pet cards, but that's not what I found the most competitive success doing. Approach for the Second Sun is, in my opinion, not very good at Modern. Devil's Dread has a deck tech, so I go ahead and just cast a Tibalt and get to that. Ooh, Ghost Quarter. Modern To the Moon Dredge. So Pull from Eternity allows you to get a card into your graveyard that you Serum Powder away, or Ox of Agonis away. I feel like you need 2 Oxes in this deck so badly. It's a cool idea. I will say that Pull is often just not going to do anything if you don't Serum Powder. It's going to be a wildly inconsistent card, which is maybe fine. I mean, that is the kind of card that it is, of course. Wildly inconsistent. Oh, they should be able to haste their Titan here. Wow. Yeah, so bounce the Slayer Stronghold, put into play off the Soccer Tribe Scout. Kill Tibalt, wow. Not quite dead. I mean, I don't think this is better than regular Dredge. I think it's very creative. I think you probably need other ways to exile cards from your yard, like more Oxes. Singles gifting a sub to Timu, cool. Cool. Let's see what they're drawing. They're drawing a Turn Timber Symbiosis. Gross. So I guess let's shuffle that away. Have I considered one Hydrocrisis? No, I don't think Hydrocrisis is good. I could be wrong. I guess I should have done that on their turn for Revolt. Go score to their Double Striker. Well, I want to shuffle their library because we know their top card is good. We won't have enough mana to Bring to Light for Bring to Light for Damnation next turn. Have you considered Nissa? The X spell Nissa? I think that card's unplayable. But also like, why would you play Nissa when you have the Valki? Instead of playing like the 40th, 50th best Planeswalker, you play the best one. Can I elaborate more on the value of Lurrus in a control shell? I mean, in a deck that's trying to grind your opponent out of resources, just having a Phyrexian Arena to grab that doesn't cost you a card in your hand is insane. What are we calling the sub baby? I have an actual Leon. How do I feel about Brother Garrick? Hell yeah. Happy 9 months, magical. Like, I don't think at this point I need to just spend forever defending Lurrus as a companion, right? Getting Lurrus as a companion is maybe the best thing to do in Modern. Maybe, and if not the best, it's like at least jumping through a hoop or two to get in your deck. Like, yeah, also buys back Snaps, Valkies, but you cannot compare Lurrus to any other card in Magic the Gathering, you know? Lurrus is a card that you always draw, that you never have to actually draw, you know? Just taking crazy pills, I guess, but I mean, you guys know what I mean. Is there merit to having one Assassin's Trophy in the main? Yeah, maybe. Like, Lurrus is, you know, just kind of a broken card. The 3s represent, I think you should have a 3rd Valki in this deck. Having said, same thing Wilson finds applied to donate. Deck is fantastic. Yeah, 3rd Valki is interesting. Obviously, like, the games you lose are the ones where you draw too many Valkis, but also the problem with playing more Valkis is you draw them more often, you know. I think I'm going to push the Tribe Scout. Tim, 12 months? That's a long time, dude. Welcome back. So many, like, 1-year resubs today. What happened a year ago? I think Rin is really good in the shell. Well, Rin is really good, but casting Rin is... You can't... I don't think you can play Rin in 6, Abrupt Decay, and Archmage's Charm. You probably have to choose between the two. But you can probably make it work. Why did I cast the Fatal Push? Our dona's full. No, the donor queue next week is completely open. I guess there's just some respect for another Dryad. Let's go to game 2. Always having access to this card is so good, it's not even worth having a conversation about. Yeah, it's hard. I don't know. It is kind of silly, I think, that we're even still talking about it. Like, talking about the strings of Lurrus. And I'm happy to do it because I guess because it does seem like not everybody is on board, but I'll say it over as many times as I have to. Having just having Lurrus as a companion with Baubles and Snapcasters is maybe the best thing to be able to do in Modern. As far as like powering up your archetype, if your archetype gets to do this, it is just so inherently strong. I cut the 4th push yesterday. Just trying to remember how I sideboarded yesterday. I left into the Damnation. I had 2 4s. I did cut a Mana Leak, I remember. Maybe I cut the 4th Bauble. Let's do that. It's like, if Lurrus doesn't impact... Like, Lurrus wins a lot of games just because you have access to it. And the games where Lurrus isn't relevant, it doesn't matter, you know? Because it's not like you drew a dead card. Another opt over a land. You seem to be flooding a lot. Well, I think in this deck, when you have... I think decks that also play Lurrus want to be a little land heavier, right? Because you always have that mana flood insulation. And so... any deck can get mana screwed or mana flooded. I do think this deck maybe wants like 23.5 lands, but I think you want to edge on the side of 24 because you have Lurrus. You also have 3 5-drops in your deck. And technically 2 7-drops, so... I don't mind being a little land heavy. Let's keep this. Valki is actually not bad. I think I'm just going to cast Valki on turn 2. Let's see if my top card's a land. Maybe I'll just hold up Gust. Spring to Light. Luis never died 11 months. Thank you for the resub. Appreciate you, buddy. Damn it. Oops, all lands. And the Summoner's Pact, I guess. Why do you not play any cards against the burn-like decks? Just relying on removal that people play mostly prowess. To say I'm not playing any cards against burn-like decks, I think is disingenuous, right? Maybe it is. Maybe it's fine. I mean, I think the burn matchup's okay. I'll trade Valki for Secure Tribe Scout, but I mean, I've got a Cling to Dust. I have Lurrus as a companion. I have 3 Aether Gust, which is good against burn. Bloodchief's Thirst is good against burn. Of the Decay. I don't have any cards that say gain life, but those cards aren't good against prowess. I think that you really want to just have cards that are kind of good against both, like Aether Gust and spot removal, and you have Lurrus and a Cling to Dust. I'm not really scared of like the burn matchup so much. It's probably not a great matchup, but I doubt it's terrible. Opponent's drawing a tracker. Would it be round 1? The 4-color Bring to Light deck. So they're gonna get to bog my Bauble again. It's fine. Singles donated $40. I suppose I'll treat you to another 5-0 list. Hell yeah, buddy. What is it? I trust you for it to be good, of course. Harry, thanks for the raid. Wait, what's that? Harry, you have something you want to say? Okay, I guess I'll give you a soapbox to stand on.
Okay, he's revolutionized it. Look at him, averaging 800 fucking viewers in the Magic the Gathering category. He's carrying us. He's got a fucking hitchhiking backpack, and he's literally carrying the shit out of us. I'm literally here going live at fucking 8 p.m. praying that Aspiring Spike isn't live, because I know that he's carrying this fucking category. He's literally carrying us. Think about it. My guy has literally got the biggest fucking balls on him to carry the fuck out of this fucking category. Magic Lion's dying because Watsy don't give a shit. But Aspiring Spike is doing his work. He's fucking doing it. He's doing it, bro. You don't even understand what he's done for us. Literally, my guy has revolutionized what the fuck we're doing. I fucking love him. People don't give him the respect that he deserves. Fucking respect Aspiring Spike. If you don't put him fucking respect to his name, I'm gonna slap you.
Well, thank you for saying that, Harry. And thank you for the raid. So my opponent got Cavern of Souls, which is less than good for us, I think. Because we have 1 Cryptic Command here. Or sorry, 1 Aether Gust. I guess if we Aether Gust to pay 4, play a land. Yeah, they can Titan next turn, but I don't think they can Titan uncounterably next turn. Hey Jarvis. Say Jarvis. Okay, put it on top. They have to pay 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this is actually quiet. This, I mean, maybe not quietly, but this is a very good draw because I don't think my opponent can cast their Titan through a counterspell this turn. Because if they pay for the Pact and if they want to, they're tapping their castle. Okay, so they're just going to commit to not casting a Titan here, and so now they're drawing the Titan. We can Thoughtseize it next turn. No interest in countering Pact. Maybe countering Pact was better. It's just so bad if they have drawn another Titan. About 2 Force of Negation for seller and TCG for 90 total, so buy 1 get 1 free special. It's pretty good. We get to draw 2 here. The only mode on Archmage's Charm. Alright, opponent. I hope the second card on your below your library is not a really good one. Well, my opponent can't even make red-white, can they? They probably can somehow. The top card can be bad, that's fine. Oh, it's a tracker. Sick. I did play this matchup twice last night in my 5-0 run. I did beat them twice in a row, so I do feel good about the matchup, especially with all these gusts. I think this is fine. Do I do physical exercise? I mean, I walk Athena a lot right now. But I'm getting my second COVID shot today. I'm going to be working out really hard after I'm fully vaxxed. I'm going to try to be in good shape again. How's your matchup versus Blue-White or Esper control? I've only played it a couple times, but it feels like most control mirrors, you know? Like, it seems fine. Having Decay for Teferi, I think, is also a big upgrade for the matchup, just as far as recent changes go. The land isn't necessarily the best draw, but we'll be able to get the lands out of our hand pretty quick. So okay, their hand is Cavern, 2 bounce lands, 2 Summoners packs. Wow. Wasn't really expecting them to go for this. So this is fine. This is their draw for the turn. So do I gust the Zusa here? I don't think so. I think they've got to pay for Pact. I think this is fine to do. 3. They can Pact for a 3-drop and play it, but I think it's okay. I guess I should have done this before damage, or did I do it before damage? Whatever. Do I hate JTMS? Yeah, all of my deck building is just a vendetta against Jace. I like Jace. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, you just can't play Jace with Lurrus, and also like Tibalt is better than Jace for whatever that's worth. But I play Jace in a lot of decks. Alright, let's counter this with Cryptic. Guess I want to thin a bit. We have another fetch land for Revolt. Oh, nice. 3rd Summoner's Pact. Oh, this is actually great because we get to go Valki with Aether Gust up next turn. Oh my gosh. Okay, we could draw the Tibalt, I guess. We won't have Aether Gust up. We can still cast it just for 7. But Tibalt exiles the Titan from the top of their library too. And so like they have to pay for Pact. We exile the Titan. Just absurd. Just broken deck. I think I'll leave it Decay on top of my library. Oh no, I'm shuffling. What am I doing? Whatever. Spew a little bit of value. Is Tibalt only worth it if you can bring to light? I think so, yeah. 7 mana for Tibalt is a fair rate to pay for it, you know? Like, there's a million 7-drops would be insane in Magic the Gathering if you could pay 5 mana for them. Most 7-drops would be Modern playable, or maybe not most, but there's a ton of 7-drops that would be good at Modern if they cost 5 instead of 7. Tibalt just happens to be the only one that actually costs 5 with Bring to Light, and then you also get to play Lurrus as a companion. Why do you have a bunch of 1-of lands in the list? The lands that I have as 1-ofs are correct to play as 1-ofs. Is why. I think so. At least this is how I like to build it. Like most, I mean, all the lands in this deck that are one-ofs are fetchables, right? So we have 9 fetch lands that can find any of our triomes. We have 9 fetch lands that can find our shock lands or our sunken ruins. And so, you know, with tutors, it's usually good to play, you know, fewer targets and more tutors. So we have, you know, 9 ways to fetch up your triomes. Does that make sense? How's this deck against Heliod combo? I think I'm 3-0 against it. It might be 2-0, but I know I haven't lost a game against it. Tibalt beats Infinite Life because you can just steal their combo. I've been crushing Heliod with this deck. I think that the Dono Day is Thursday singles. I think that the worst matchup with this deck is Tron, and then Blue-Red Prowess is worse with this package compared to Drowns. But I haven't played that matchup. It's probably not stellar, but probably not that bad either. It's like Grixis Shadow. Another matchup where Mono Blue Tron, unwinnable matchup, of course. Hopefully they don't have an Angler here. Can't beat Angler. Just Boomer, Grixis Shadow. That being said, like, this deck does have answers to Stormwing with the Damnations, Bring to Light for Damnation. Valki can also exile Stormwing. The original Lurrus list I sent you and improved them at the same time is this list swapping Bring to Light for Rens. Okay. Did you send me a deck tech or something? Spike, you realize this is the original Lurrus deck I sent you a month ago, swapping Bring to Light for Red and 6. I mean, I don't think that this... what? I'm confused. I mean, just... whatever. Green Limit, 9 months. Appreciate you. Welcome back. Sounds like a pretty different deck. I don't know. I'm sure the mana base is different. And obviously, these like Lurrus control decks have been around for a long time. But swapping Red and 6 for Bring to Light, I mean, that's just totally different, right? Time Travel Innate, thank you for your Twitch Prime. Appreciate you. I think I'm going to play the Triumph here. We're pretty dead. Angler is so good against us. How did they get to turn 2 Gurmag? Thought Scour. Puts cards in their graveyard. Bishop's Bauble. 0 mana card in the graveyard. How do you deal with Stormwing? We've got Damnation. I mean, I think that's the rub, right? You can't be good against everything. You can either choose to be good against Stormwing Entity and take a hit against like Heliod, Ponza, the Niv to Light deck, or the Bring to Light deck. Because Drown is worse against them. It's just not online fast enough, I think. Or you can play Drown and be really good against Stormwing. Angler is good against Drown, and so Angler is just like one of the best cards in the format against us. But in your control deck, you can't be good against everything, unfortunately. But you can exile Stormwing with Valki or kill it with Damnation, or like force their Manamorphose and slow them down a bit. They don't always have Stormwing. That's not true. They always have Stormwing. Oh, well, I mean, my opponent is very likely to have counter magic, but I guess what we can do here is we can try to bounce the Gurmag Angler. Let me discard a push. We can try to bounce the Gurmag Angler, and hopefully they only have 1 counter spell, and then we get to untap in Damnation, perhaps. Big B, 13 months. Hell yeah. Appreciate you. Yeah, definitely post-combat. I mean, this is obviously really unlikely to work. I don't know why my 4-mana sweeper can be countered, but blue-white controls can't. It's pretty unfair. They'll just double bolt me. Oh, they are going to double bolt me? That's so brutal. Well, I guess we didn't play around this very well, but it's also like very possible they just still have counterspell in their hand. We have hit a bad matchup, chat. Right, Bloodchief's Thirst, 4-mana to kill an Angler. We can't kill a Gurmag Angler. I'm guessing I'm gonna play Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize can deal with Gurmag Angler. I think I play the first Force. Got the fourth push. This Decay is better than push. Let's do this. You want spell bombs? Yeah, I want spell bombs. What if ops for trophies? I would never play more than one Assassin's Trophy in this deck, I think. But you can play one. I mean, the more green-black cards you play, also the worse your mana gets. Something else to note. I think I want 2 push, 3 decay, 1 thirst. I like the cling to dust. You can cut the Force of Negation and cut one of each of these expensive spells, I guess. But yeah, Trophy Answering Stormwing is pretty nice. I think you could play it in the 75, yeah. But also, Grixis Shadow is not a deck that's very popular right now, you know? This is the first time I've played against Grixis Shadow this month, maybe. And I don't expect to play against it anytime soon. And when you build a control deck, if you're trying to focus on a metagame of Prowess and Shadow and Heliod and Ponza and the Bring to Light deck, you're going to lose to Grixis Shadow, you know? You can't beat everything, and that's okay. Just like last time I played this deck, I played against Mono Blue Tron twice in a row at the very beginning of the stream, and the whole chat told me my deck is bad. Every single person in the chat wrote me a mean DM and made a YouTube video dissing this deck list. It's kind of a lot. Yeah, there's always that one guy who registered Grixis Shadow after 2 years of not queuing, and that's part of what keeps Magic interesting, right? Is that randomness, you know? All the decks I lose to just not common decks. I mean, no. I think that of all the metagame decks, I think this deck is good against. I think this deck is really good because it's good against Shadow, Red-White Prowess. I think it's probably got an even-ish matchup against Blue-Red, but it could have a bad matchup because of Stormwing. I need to test it some. Good against Red-White Prowess. Good against Heliod. Good against Ponza. Good against Niv to Light or Bring to Light, I think. And then like all the like the really popular metagame decks, I think it's got an unfavorable matchup against the Tron variants, but I think that's also okay to have one unfavorable matchup in of the most popular decks. That being said, if the blue-red prowess matchup is truly bad, we'll probably have to make some changes. The Bloodstained Mire on top. You're just talking about Bluetron the other day. I mean, that's okay. I think it was good to address, even if you're joking. I wasn't taking it personally. But I think it was actually good to talk about, joke or not. Now, there's no Scapeshift in this deck. We're bringing to light for Valki and casting Tibalt. And so it gets to be a Lurrus control deck that plays the best 5-mana Planeswalker in the format. Just passing. What would I cut to play Go for the Throat? I don't know. I don't think I'd play Go for the Throat in the main, but you could cut the Bloodchief's Thirst in the sideboard. Although I like to have Bloodchief's Thirst against the Rin and 6 decks. That's also good against the Prowess and Burn decks. But you could cut that. Also, Shatter Assumptions might just not be that good. But, I mean, I also think the Tron matchup is not favorable. And Shatter Assumptions might just be a big sleeper. Great card, and I'm mostly just wanting to test it. Get out of here, Grimag Angler. You are not welcome here. When your deck can't be Blue-Tron and Grixis Shadow, that's how you know you've analyzed the meta correctly. Yes, you get to rejoice in your losing. I don't want to go snap Thoughtseize. Get my 2-for-1. Ooh. We can take the Dispute since Nihil Spellbomb can counter Drown. Good for us that they have a very flooded hand. Wait, what was their keep? This is the Bauble and the Thoughtseize. Just didn't draw that well after that. Drown and the Logic Knot is also very good against Drown. I think they drew 2 more lands. So we won a game in the really bad matchup. Congratulations to us. I feel like 3 Spellbombs is too many on the draw, perhaps, maybe. I don't really want to crack Spellbomb on turn 1. Maybe the first Force is good on the draw. Probably not. I'll play the 3rd Cryptic, though. I know it's kind of a slow card, but it does bounce Angler. Might not be Shadow. I mean, they're definitely Shadow. They're playing Street Wraith. I know we haven't seen the card Death Shadow, but it looks exactly like Boomer Grixis Shadow. That just hasn't drawn a Death Shadow yet. Do I think Charlotte's Agent will be good at Modern if it gets printed at Mage 2? It will be good in Cascade decks, probably more than Fair decks. But also, it's like... we'll just talk about the spoilers when we get them, of course. There's no rush. Yeah, Gurmag Angler is really bad for us, but I agree that the matchup... let me Bauble... Actually, let's just play both Baubles, and this way, if they have another discard spell, they're not going to get anything from me this turn. No threat, awesome. Take the stub. How did donos go yesterday? Better than the previous week? Yeah, yesterday was a great day. We went 3-2, 4-1. We did go 0-3 drop in the Pioneer dono, but the deck was really cool, and all the matches were pretty close. It's a bad beats. They're drawing a Thought Scour. What was the Pioneer deck? It was a Delirium aggro deck. It was really, really cool. With like Lurrus as a companion, Gnarlroot Dryad, Grimflayer. I liked it. They milled over an Angler. Did they draw one? Yeah, hard to go worse than last week. Absolutely. Absolutely. I also, I guess we have 2 dono decks actually in the queue. Oh, Fern, I don't even think I even addressed your dono. I just like, I saw it and didn't even say anything, but the Jeskai Polymorph turns. I've been wanting to play that deck, so that's cool. But new policy is that only 3 donation decks for Dono Deck Thursday. Like, there's just been a lot of weeks where I do 4, the stream is like 7.5 hours, and that's eating into my lunchtime, and it's more fun if we just do 3. Control A, so now we'll select everything. That works for most programs on Windows too. I don't really want to play the Charm into a Stubborn Denial here, so I'm going to cycle my Triome. Yeah, Delirium was a really cool mechanic. I played a lot of Standard when Delirium was around. So it's like a Snapcaster. Yeah, Snapcaster. Let's counter this, I think, with Logic Knot. This could be bad if they... I mean, we know their hand is Bolt, Team or Battle Rage, 2 mystery cards. They haven't drawn particularly well this game. It's maybe possible that I'm supposed to delve more because they have Drowns in their deck. I would love for them to draw the card Death Shadow this game. Your take on the polymorph turns deck has been different. Kind of based on Emrakul polymorph, brewed it yesterday. Cool. Can you send a list in chat just so I can take a look real quick? But sounds fun. I've been wanting to play. I think there's a lot of wiggle room with the archetype for sure. Been wanting to play it. They started to pay costs. Their hand is Bolt, Teamer, Battle Rage, Mystery card. Please don't let that mystery card be Gurmag Angler. It's Inquisition. Feel free to make changes. Cool. This looks sick. I really like the idea of polymorphing into this card. We played against it on stream a while ago and it just looked awesome. Playing Savage Beating. Cool. I think that probably gives you like a good density of extra turn effects. And then by not playing the 3 mana extra turn guy, you actually get to play more counter spells. Because that card makes you want to play what is it called? That card makes you want to play Fires. I guess I should have maybe bolted the Snapcaster now. Alright, I should have not taken the 2. But we know their hand, so I should have. Sorry, I was maybe talking to chat a bit too much. It's a good draw. So we know their hand is Bolt, Teamer, Battle Rage, Mystery card. Because Angler is such a problem, I'm not going to just snap draw 2 main phase. Although we know it's going to resolve right now. Okay, I'll do it. If they draw Angler, we can maybe maneuver around it a bit. Although they do have the Bolt and Teamer, Battle Rage, huh? Have the Bloodchief's Thirst now, or Bring to Light for Valki. Our deck is so good against Death Shadow. I wonder if they like sided out some Death Shadows. We haven't seen one yet this match, but surely they cannot. There's no way they're not playing it if they have Street Wraith. They've milled over 2 Anglers. They found a Thoughtseize. Imagine this takes Bring to Light. This also puts them down to 4 life. I mean, they can bolt my Snapcaster. Yeah, Grixis Gurmag Angler, of course. I like the old border Anglers. I feel like all the black old border looks so good. Oh, finally. So we know their hand. I'll push this, and then they'll bolt my Snapcaster. And I guess I put Lurrus in my hand, even though it does open me up to a discard spell. Maybe they'll actually accidentally cast Team of Battle Rage instead of Bolt. That'd be pretty good. Let's save the fetch land for a Scry with Lurrus. Wow, I just get to put Lurrus in my hand? It's crazy. Alright, so their hand is currently Teamer Battle Rage Mystery card. We can pay for Dispute, so I don't think we need to play our land yet. We can play Snapcaster. Might be better to go like Snap Bring to Light next turn. I don't think I want to go Snap Thoughtseize. I'll just Bauble. My top card is Fatal Push. That's probably better than the average draw. Chewbacca 12 months. Welcome back. Appreciate you. That's like it's like 5th or 6th, I think, 1 year resubscription today. I don't know if there's like something that happened a year ago or something, but it's very cool to see so many people sticking along that long, you know? Yeah, but why Lurrus? Why is getting Lurrus so good in your control decks, you know? Just like you get a free card that just wins you a lot of games. It doesn't win you every game, but it's not like it's a dead draw. Yeah, you used to just be able to cast this from your board. We're 3-0, and we even beat Grixis Shadow, which seems like a terrible matchup, but they also didn't get to... Actually, they did cast Angler in Game 2, but we counted it. But the turn 2 Angler on the play in Game 1... Or maybe they were on the draw, but it was pretty unbeatable. I've also now won my last 8 matches with this deck. I 5-0'd with it off stream last night. I was 10-1 in games. I also played against a very competitive league. I played against Red White Prowess, 2 Titan opponents, Heliod and Jund Shadow, a very good sampling of the metagame. I'm a big believer in this deck. I really think this deck is very strong. I feel like this is the final evolution of the Lurrus control decks that we've been working on. I think that this is the best version, with, you know, the caveat that this like suite of spells will be changing as the metagame evolves, of course. Today, a year ago, was the revolution that COVID wasn't short term. Did that happen on a specific day? Was there like a inciting incident for that? I mean, the last year's been a blur, but a fun blur as far as the stream goes. If you must win a tournament tomorrow, this deck or just cats? I think this deck. I am hoping that I am this high on this deck by Monday and play this deck in the PTQ on Monday. We'll see what happens though. If you wanted to go a more mid-range run in this deck, would I run Goyfs? So I have played a Sultai Lurrus. This is the first time I put together a Lurrus control deck. It was the Sultai Lurrus control deck. And then it was playing something like this. Then I switched for a Drowned package because there was a lot of blue-red prowess. And then this deck turned into Grixis Lurrus, where I found that Sprite Dragon was a much better win condition than Tarmogoyf. And I top 8'd a challenge 2 weeks ago with this deck. I was really, really liking it. I still think this deck is good. But then the Bring to Light Valki decks were popping up, and I was trying to think of other shells for the Bring to Light Valki package, and boy, does this seem like just a broken deck. Or maybe not. I wouldn't. Broken is hyperbolic, but good deck. Most business says to me permanent job loss for more than a dozen friends. It sucks. Yeah. I know that when I got laid off, it was like... I'll keep this. I think it was good to discard the Snapcaster. I remember when I got laid off, we had this big subathon, but I don't think it's been a full year yet. It's been almost a year. I've been full-time, I think, for 10 or 11 months. And it's been awesome. It's crazy that I get to do this. Blah, blah, blah. All the cheesy nonsense. Was it in April last year? I mean, who knows, dude? I think that I went full-time in May last year. Esther probably remembers. Because Esther, you know, remembers all the dates and stuff, and she told me like 3 days ago that me and Esther have been living together for 1 year as of like 3 days ago. And I know that when I went full time, I moved into this room, and there was a little while where I was still streaming out there, but Esther was living here, and she asked me to move in here. She asked me to move in here because she wanted to like make breakfast in the mornings and stuff, and didn't want me to. It didn't want to have to be so quiet in the mornings, which is, of course, was the move. And but I'm just trying to think how long it was after that I ended up going full time. Do I have concerns that people are going to go back to work, watch count would drop? Whatever. It probably will happen across Twitch for the most part. But more people going back to work and society getting back to normal is takes priority over my views, I think. Bring to light for Decay. Do that next turn. Yeah. I do not anticipate that I will go hungry because of the shift. Especially because, I don't know, I think that... Oh, we drew Force. That's awesome. Because you can Force from exile, pitching a card in your hand. I think a lot of people are like... Me especially are worse. I don't think I'm going to... I've been watching a lot more Twitch myself, and I don't really anticipate that changing so much. I anticipate I think people are kind of used to being a little more, the people who became introverted and started watching a lot of Twitch, and I think that shift or that change is going to be somewhat consistent still. I don't think it's going to be a drastic overnight change back. I don't think I forced the bolts. Am I really going to bring to light for Decay? Let me cling to dust this mire. If they only had one Kroxa, I'd be more interested in getting the Kroxa there. Maybe we could just draw Decay. We can also force the cards that they retrace. We have 2 forces now. It's obviously a bit risky to do this. But with just being able to exile their Assassin's Trophy and their bolts, I think this is fine. BCS, 3 months. Professor Chaos, 10 months. I want this notification to stop showing. Yeah, can you exit out of that, actually? I think maybe you can. But you should be able to if you can't. I guess they're just going to take the force. Why not? Yeah, you can only exile creatures and artifacts with Tibalt. They revealed another Written 6 to their Written 6. So we know that they have their hand is Fatal Push, land, Written 6 right now. They're going for a Kroxa escape? Really? Can we just discard Bring to Light? Or we could Bring to Light for Damnation. I want to discard a spell. Could Bring to Light for Damnation next turn. Hold up Logic Knot / push. Could discard the Snapcaster maybe. Yeah, Snapcaster is just so mana intensive. No, I'll just discard the Bring to Light. Do we need the Knot? I think Knot's good. It's counterspell here. Yeah, we can just go push that push, which is less mana intensive than Bring to Light for Damnation. Ryan Thai Food? I do like Thai food. Ran the group since Lurrus local winner box, came in 3rd. Only lost because I couldn't get past 2 lands in those games. I think it's as fun as pilot. This to watch. Thanks for making it. Hell yeah, I'm glad that you like the deck. Sick one for sure. Alright. Rimblem easy to beat. Barely an inconvenience. They're drawing a Wooded Foothills, which can of course be Assassin's Trophy, whatever they want it to be. I should have played the one from whatever. I guess what we want to do here is actually go. Oh, do I have another fetchable? Okay, cool. Yeah, we want to go Snap Push, Kroxa, then Cling to Dust Lightning Bolts with Force Up for their Assassin's Trophy. Sorry, Cling to Dust is always like headache to resolve. We haven't cast Shatter Assumptions yet, so I still have Assumptions, but they haven't been shattered yet. Maybe I'm the other one who always struggles escaping Cling to Dust. Should keep Valki in the graveyard to play with Lurrus. I don't think it really matters. Can I explain why I aren't clean Croaks? So they have 2 Croakses, and they have a Rimblem in play. And so exiling the Lightning Bolts feels infinitely more important, especially when we know they're drawing a land. We know their hand is now exactly Fatal Push, Renin 6. If they escape Croaksa, they get to go. They get to put me to 3, but 3 life is not 0. We get to ultimate this next turn also. Yeah, as long as you're exiling a card from your hand, you can. You can't pitch cards in exile with Valki, but if it's in exile with Valki, you can pitch from your hand. So now I think we'll go push Croaksa. Cling to Dust Croaksa. Go back to up to 6. See what they're drawing next turn. Easily dispatching the Rimblem. Let's bring in the Bloodchief's Thirst, the Decay. I think we can cut the 4th push. Aether Gust is solid against them too. I usually like to play 1 or 0 Force against John. Depends on how many boils I feel like I'm trying to play around. Spellbomb seems okay. Yeah. Tibalt at 5 mana is absurd. At 7 mana, it's a balanced card. What's 2.0 about this list? We cut the Drowned Thoughtseize package for Mana Leak's Decays and the Ops. Changed the mana base a little bit to play the 2nd Reflecting Pool, which actually feels great. Although, I accidentally ordered one of these Reflecting Pools and then one Conspiracy Reflecting Pool. So I did that a long time ago, and so now if I want to build this deck in paper, I need to find somebody to swap me. I need to, or I guess order a new one. I'll just go to F&M with my trade binder. Trades? Anybody got trade? Also permanent. And so I think that the Drowned Thoughtseize package is. I think that this deck is better. This version is better against the metagame as a whole, besides specifically blue-red prowess, which is certainly a scary deck to feel like you're worse against. You have Conspiracy Pool coming in next week or so, looking for Tempest. I think I'd rather have Tempest than Conspiracy. I'll think about it. Yeah, I mean, I would probably like throw in something to sweeten the deal if someone wanted to take me up on the trade. But I'm also not soliciting that on Twitch right now because that is against TOS. This is not a tongue-in-cheek thing either. Very serious. I'll keep that Archmage's Charm, I guess. Ooh, what a good draw. Let's play around Veil of Bummer. 3 Sultai Triomes, pretty nice. Am I excited to defeat Post Malone at Paper Magic at GP Austin? Yeah, dude, Post Malone playing Magic is super sick. Esther is a huge Post Malone fan. Growth Spiral worth consideration? I think it's worth considering. I think it makes your mana worse, but I do think it's worth considering, yeah. Discard the Misty, maybe. This does mean we can't Revolt push, but whatever. It's only, I mean, they have Bloodbraid Elf, it's relevant, but they hit Lightning Bolts. Did I just counter the Bloodbraid Elf? I don't really want to be drawing cards with its active Liliana. What is this? I was today years old when I learned who Post Malone was. Wow. I mean, everybody's got gaps in their knowledge, of course. Alright, is our last card a removal spell for Snapcaster? If so, we're kind of in trouble. They have Tarmogoyf on top. Kind of wish that was the card they cast here into my Fatal Push, but I guess they would never cast it into Push, actually. So let's discard the Sunken Ruins, fetch it to Triome here. See if they... I guess they're just going to discard whatever the non-Goyf card is. Oh. Ooh. Nice. Yeah, Post Malone's super popular artist. Like, had a meteoric rise to fame in the last... ooh. Wow. The last few years. From Texas, lives... Like, actually is from, like, an hour away from where I'm from. So I don't know if Posty used to play Magic at like LGSs and stuff, but he does just kind of look like every Magic player ever. So maybe we battled one time. All right, I 5-0'd my league last night off stream with the same 75. We're currently 4-0. I've won my last 9 matches. So let's get a prediction going. Every Magic player has a face tattoo. I would say on average Magic players have face tattoos, yeah. Most Magic players I've met do. I don't know. Post Malone definitely just looks like somebody you'd see at an LGS. Can I get a refund on my believer bet if we match Bluetron? Well, I hope that you instead believe hard enough for us to not match up against Bluetron. Dude, the believers are showing up today. Need to get some water. I need to stay super hydrated today because I'm getting my COVID shot. Esther bought some Gatorade. Opponent's playing Lurrus. I usually don't like to mulligan against Lurrus, but I think that hand's a mulligan. Keep this put back force. Lurrus with basic forest. This is probably Infect. Oh, it's Devoted Druid. Probably a great matchup. Reveal Giver of Runes, which is fine. That card's pretty good in this matchup, probably. But hold up Mana Leak / Decay here. Nice to have Cling to Dust for the reanimation spell. Postmortem Lunge here. Attack for 2. They probably should. They decide against it. We can't push and decay this turn, unfortunately. We could go push in Valki. Let's do that. Oh. Yikes. So their hand is Eldritch Evolution, Finale of Devastation. Mystery card. Okay, now I can attack. Kind of weird they would use that over the Finale. Don't really understand that. I hope that they attack with their Vizier and I can block with Snapcaster. Smart of them to play around it, of course. But we've got a solid beatdown plan there at 9. Hidden for 4. Force is actually a pretty good draw here. If you only have one Reflecting Pool, could you just add a Swamp? I'd play like a River of Tears or like another Drowned Catacomb. I wouldn't play a second Swamp in this deck ever. You have 4 Archmage's Charms. Acolyte, 11 months. Happy Friday to you too. I also don't know why they just never cast their finale. I guess they were holding that as their big payoff to kill. Up a game, believers. Up a game. Just queuing into what seems to be a phenomenal matchup right here at the end of the league. I think you want 2 forces, probably. Probably going to cut one of each of the big mana cards. Cut the 4th Bauble. Maybe you can cut the 3rd Mana Leak. Does Lurrus because you have Tibalt off Valki in the yard? No, you can't. But you can still cast Valki. Okay, I'm gonna get some get a drink real quick. Alright. Feeling good. Have to mulligan again. Unfortunately. And this hand's not great. Let's keep though. I kind of want to put back Sunken Hollow. Is that crazy? EE aren't good? Oh, did I forget to bring in EE? Oh my gosh. EE is very good. We'll bring him in for game 3. I'm not sure what card I could see on top. Maybe Fatal Push I'd keep. And play this. Cryptic Command on top. I'm still playing this. I mean, honestly, like, our whole deck is just... Our entire deck is just all good cards in this match. And my opponent's got the super slow hand. They have the slow hand that also led on Canopy, which implies that it's land light. I'll mana leak this. They might have Veil of Summer, I guess. There's no way I'm not going to mana leak here. They don't even have Veil. Looking good, believers. Due to land, although it is the one land in the deck that doesn't cast Archmage's Charm. Mardu Stoneblade. Maybe I should put Lurrus in my hand that turn. Probably not. Alright, game over. This is cool. I like the idea of being like a creature Stone Blue deck in Mardu with a lot of disruptive creatures. I think that makes a lot of sense to me. I will say that Onthanice looks kind of tough on your mana. It's maybe doable. Maybe it's fine. We're just playing Onthanice and Kroxa seems difficult, right? Since Onthanice wants you to fetch planes on turn 1 a lot of the time, and then Kroxa wants you to not have basic planes. Maybe just play Fatal Push instead of Onthanice. Fatal Push is really good in this format too, I should add. So, you know, if you get to play Fatal Push, that's usually a great thing for you. So that's one change I'd suggest. I'd also, instead of playing sort of Feast and Famine, I'd suggest playing Maul of the Skyclaves in these kind of decks. And sideboard the Feast and Famine against like Titan combo. I also don't think Mila is very good. I would just probably play a 3rd, maybe even a 4th Elite Spellbinder. Seems like a really good Elite Spellbinder deck. Sideboard actually looks really good to me. I might play the 4th Ariok Champion. And I get the Wheel of Sun and Moons too. Kind of feeling them, I guess. Maybe you need one more Graveyard Hate piece though. Although I don't know how good or bad your Graveyard or your Dredge matchup is, so I'll let you figure that one out on your own, I suppose. My opponent can't just kill me, right? Without a Devoted Druid in the graveyard. I'm probably just supposed to slam this. I don't think my opponent can kill me, chat. Anthonice works great with Strangler, but it's pushed even better. I think if you're a Croxa deck, you don't want to play Anthonice. Maybe we'll combo. Like, they can go Devoted Druid, Postmortem Lunge their Druid, I guess. Just so unlikely. Just feels like fine to go for it here. Just so hard to lose. Pro Dog, thank you for 2 months in a row. I think we're more likely to lose this game to like a million Veil of Summers, you know. And Phrase the Trot. Phrase the Trot. Not really sure what your username is saying, but thank you for the subscription. But Chain to the Rocks to keep the synergy with Strangler? Chain to the Rocks might be better, but I mean, you only have 3 Stranglers, and you've got other cards that work with it. Chain to the Rock seems a lot easier because you can like put it on a Triumph and not have to fetch basic planes. Yeah, I would play Chain. Oh, man. I actually don't think we counter this so we don't lose to Postmortem Lunge. How's Vines better than Blossoming Defense? I don't know, Fran. There's also Snakeskin Veil. And more Veil of Summers. Their deck might just play 4 Veil of Summer, though. I'm just going to hold up Cryptic plus Charm here instead of casting the Lurrus. And this game's very over, I think. But we could lose the Postmortem Lunge, so let's just try not. Why put Lurrus in a hand if we can just kill theirs? Exactly. Welcome to my... They have 2 Postmortem Lunges? No, Eladamri's. What can I bring to light for? Well, it doesn't matter. Back-to-back 5-0s, baby. Back-to-back 5-0s. I mean, one off stream last night, then one now. But same 75. This is not the deck that got pulled up here. Ooh. This looks awesome. It's me.